Okay, so now we're going to look at graphing specific sine graphs. So the first one we're going to look at is 3 sine x minus 2. And for this one, I'm going to start by stating my amplitude is going to be 3, and my vertical shift is going to be negative 2. So my center line is going to be moved down to negative 2, and then I'll go up 3 and down 3 from there. So I'm going to start by putting in my center line. So I know my sine graph, when it comes back to the middle, is coming to this point. My maximum is going to be 3 above that. That's what my amplitude tells me. And my minimum is going to be 3 below. So I'll be down here. So I'm just putting in these lines to help me sketch my graph. So I know sine starts at the center of the graph, and then it's going to go up, come back to the middle, it's going to go down, and then it's going to come back to the middle. And the graph is, of course, periodic, so it's going to continue in this way, down, up, to its maximum, back to the center, and then I'm going to try and make as smooth of a curve as I can to connect those. And this function label didn't tell me how I was counting my angles, so I'm going to assume that my x is in radians. So I'm just going to go ahead and label, I know that sine reaches its maximum at pi over 2 radians, so that we know how we're counting. So we're going to complete a full cycle after 2 pi is the other way that I could label this and help me think about my increments. All right, 10 cosine x plus 5, well, that's going to be really similar. I have an amplitude of 10 and a vertical shift of 5. So if I look at trying to fit this, I know that my max is going to have a y value of 15. My min is going to have a y value of negative 5, the middle minus the amplitude. So when trying to think about fitting this on, if my maximum was up here and we called this one 15, let's see, that would mean I'm counting by 3s, which would put my center line about here. It's a little bit awkward. So because it's awkward, I'm going to label it. I'm going to call that 5. I'm going to call this, sorry, yeah, that's my 5. 15 is up here, so I'm counting by 3s. I'm going to go down to negative 5, so that'll be somewhere around here. And just to be clear, I'll go ahead and label it as negative 5 here. All right, I know cosine starts at its maximum value. So similarly, I'm going to try and equally space all of my points along the axis, going in my pattern. So here's my full cycle, 2 pi. If I divide this out, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 increments. Of course, 2 pi divided by 8 means I'm counting by pi over 4s. So continuing, here's my maximum. So I'll come to the center, minimum, center, and then maximum. And again, try and make a smooth curve if you can. And that's why I think the grid line or the max min lines really help with trying to make your smooth curve.